Be yourself. Be your fucking self. Be yourself. What up? Welcome back. I wanted to do an episode. I haven't done one in a while. Maybe a couple weeks actually. I've definitely had longer stints and breaks, but I've had this desire to get on. And I think one of my challenges is when I get on, sometimes I have this pressure in my mind to do like an hour episode, and it has to be, profound, and I have to have some kind of message and something powerful to say. And that's all in my mind, yo. And that's all in my mind, and I'm learning that more and more. And this is sort of part of what we're gonna be talking about today, yo. But let me just start off by I'm getting on more often, and I intend to. One of the ways I'm doing that, and I'm gonna compel myself to get on by capping these videos at 15 minutes. Okay, so instead of doing hour-long videos, or even I've had like hour 90 or 90 minutes, hour and a half and shit, I'm gonna just get on 15 minutes, say what I gotta say, see what comes out. If it requires more, you know what I'm saying, then I'll be compelled to come on the next day, you know what I'm saying, and I don't have to worry about that, and I don't have to feel the stress about trying to fill an hour and shit like this, you know what I'm saying, like really bring the stress down. But anyway, let's get into it. I want to talk about be yourself. The name of this is going to be yourself, or maybe be your fucking self. Be your fucking self. um I just want to talk about how powerful that is, that statement, that goal. We hear people talk about it all the time. We hear people telling people that's an obvious piece of advice that people say all the time. And I want to notice that when I was younger, I couldn't understand quite what it meant. Be yourself, love yourself, know yourself. These all kind of are the same thing, but from a different angle. Being, knowing, loving, those are different words and they mean different things, but the crux is yourself. And when I was a younger kid, somebody would say be yourself or know yourself. I would think I knew myself. I knew myself. Like, who knows me better than me? Kind of like, I know myself. I love myself. I like myself. I'm a good person. Or I played football. I was like, I like, I'm an athlete or this and that. Um, but what was missing was a real deep understanding of what it all meant. And when I think back about it now, I think about it, it was what it needed to be. The feelings I had at those times, the way I knew myself, the way those words meant for me at the time was exactly what it needed to me to be, so that I would make the choices that I made at that time, so that I would have the experiences that I would then have, so that I could feel and know with a deeper sense to the way that I do now. So like, yeah, like I said, I would be, playing football and being and loving myself, but I'm always striving. My goal was to be this incredible football player, and this striving was an important thing for me. The sense that I needed to always be better. You're playing this game with these other people who are training and lifting and making tough decisions, getting up early and like positioning themselves to be stronger and faster and more skilled. When I had my small business, I still have my small business, but when I started my small business and BB Digital, I was trying to get attention for it. I had to, what's good? We got two people on. I had to strive. And so the concept of being is always this elusive thing. When I was a business owner, creative entrepreneur, I had to, for me, it was motivating to think that I had to always put in effort. You know what I'm saying? This is the grind kind of thing. I had to demonstrate something, and I wasn't there yet. And so it was like very motivating to get up and to get it done, What I find that I've learned now at 43 years old, with all the experiences that I've had, is that something like be yourself really hits different. It hits different because I'm further along in my journey and my path and my awareness about this experience, my experience. And I realized that at every step of the way, I was being put in a position to learn more about myself. I wanted to be, I was comparing myself always against the external world. And even though I liked myself, or you know what I'm saying, like I felt like pretty popular in high school, shit like this. I always felt a lack. I always felt a fear. I felt an anxiety of being seen as silly. I always felt I felt the weight of other people's gaze and assumptions on me. You know what I'm saying? I developed a sense about like and a sensitivity to other people. You know what I mean? And like, what are they thinking? What does it look like? What do I look like? you know? And what are they thinking? And that was key for my ego and my safety. I was good at it. I was good at it. People liked me. Shit like this, you know? Um, that was a part of my life. That was predominant, and that played a part in my choices. And I like my choices, and I was a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it was a lot of like concern for the external, and that led me into my adulthood. I'm talking about childhood here. That led me into adulthood. That led me into my career and careers. And I saw the benefits there. I'm a people person. You know, I have a sense of humor. I can laugh and like shoot the shit with people and meet them, and you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's very aware of the other person's opinions and conscious of it, you know? Like I said, I'm going to 15 minutes, I'm cutting it, but I want to say this while it pops up. Like, so conscious of it. Like, here's an interesting example, yo. You know, my wife and I are non-monogamous, right? We're non-monogamous, and sometimes we're monogamous, and you know, we flow. We choose what we want, and how we want to be. In this one area, when we first moved out to Baltimore, we met this couple, this um, couple, okay? And we had they wanted to meet. Actually, she was doing her comedy show at the time, so they came out to this comedy thing with us, and we came out here right on this porch, and we were talking, and we had some drinks, and we were talking, and we wanted to get to know each other better after the show, and so we're talking about how do we get into non-monogamy? You know what I'm saying? And where are we now? Like, how are we dating anyone? Are we seeing anyone? Shit like this. And Sheba starts talking very honestly, you know, very like, yeah, oh no, we used to date this lesbian married couple, and yeah, but you know, they're further away, and yeah, sometimes we've been to a party or two, and she's like painting this picture that is very truthful, and also kind of like, you know, we're talking to people who are accepting of alternate lifestyles. So like, she was honest, and I found myself like really attuned to their thing. Like, is it too much? Are we saying too much? Is that, you know what I mean? Like, I felt that they were like they were more closed in their non-monogamy, and that we were displaying a more excited and free and open, and like lots of stuff going on non-monogamy. And that I was kind of like trying to gauge and scan and kind of give a more subdued version of our story. Why? It took, I mean, this is something that I had to build, this kind of awareness to notice what I was doing. So the anxiety that I was feeling at the time, see, I had to give language to it. That's what I'm giving you now. I'm giving you the language that I developed as I thought about what I was doing and why I felt anxious in that moment. You know what I'm saying? The night went fantastic. After that, we went in, we had a great time. It was fun. We still are very much, we're connected to that couple. They're both fantastic. Um, But this anxiety about trying to present something, this goes back to, as I've gone through therapy, I've learned that this has something to do with my relationship with my mom. It has to do with my mom. My mom was very much, we grew up in Brooklyn, New York, we grew up in the projects, and my mom wanted to present something bigger, more. She was very cautious about our presentation and being in the projects and being kind of poor, working poor. She wanted to project something different, and she made us very conscious of that. You know what I'm saying? I was very conscious of that. I also, like I said, I picked stuff up in high school and like ways of, you know, yeah, everybody likes Billy. Billy is so funny, and um, there's safety in being liked and knowing how to be, how to present something that can get a positive response, right? There's, some people might call this emotional intelligence or social intelligence. There's something around that. But at some point, it's manipulation. At some point, you manipulating other people, you manipulating yourself, and you don't realize the amount of energy that's at play, the amount of energy that you are creating. Energy is the best word I have for this, right? But we're talking about things that are related to physics. It's something perhaps spiritual. It's like how you look at it. Your body is, your experience is, and then your experience is, your truth is. And if you are too conscious about projecting something, you are actually diverting yourself from yourself, and you don't realize how much energy is being expended. And so my process, one of the things I want to relay is like the process for me, and it's been a spiritual process, it's been a psychological process, it's been a maturing process, is to understand that like being myself really means to let go, to not be involved in a game of projection, to not be manipulating, right? If once I put it that way, I really got it, and I started to say I needed to change something. Once I realized that, once I put it in cold language like manipulation, I don't want to be a manipulative person. That's one of the reasons I got away from it. The other reason is this energy concept. I'm dead serious about this. It's just freeing. It's just freer, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I started working for a member of Congress. I was in the U.S. Congress and House of Representatives, rubbing elbows with senators and political people. Then, just different worlds, you know what I'm saying? Like political activism and, in grad school, like international relations and ethics, these different viewpoints of the world. And it was a challenge. I remember then CNN and, starting my new company and meeting all these entrepreneurs and meeting all these people that you develop an awareness of like how people speak and what the words mean and like what is considered good and reasonable and what is considered. And if you have too much of that, if you have too much of these voices, you have to actually ground yourself back in yourself. You have to be yourself. That's what knowing yourself and loving yourself means. It means at some point you have to develop a capacity to respect the fact that other people have their perspective and their thing, and their fears and their anxieties and their truths and their approaches and their language and their assumptions, and that it is not up to you to meet them. It is not up to you to contort and to make and fill the space and to, make the space comfortable. Not all the time. What a great skill to have, though. I'm grateful that I have the skill and the ability to connect with people differently. Some people don't have that. Some people are just awkward, they're like, they're unable, but to actually at some point you have to hold the line for something. You have to, especially and for what? See, I might get this in another episode because we're coming up on a time, but like, for what though? The question is for what, right? So what are you holding the line for? What do you care about? And that's the thing. Too often what we care about was given to us too. There's levels to this reality, you know what I'm saying? Like what you care about was given to you. So if I ask you what you care about, we don't even realize, asking it puts it in a conscious thing, but like, I'll speak as a man with many male friends who I played football with and I kept in contact with, and this kind of the masculine presentation, you know what I'm saying, is something that people care about. Which was given to them by other men, right? This thing about looking strong, about projecting like, success financially, shit like this, projecting success with the women, you know what I'm saying? By the way, that couple was anyway. Projecting success with the, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like presentation stuff that really governs us more than we acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, and we get in groups, we get on chat groups. You know what I'm saying? And we perform this for each other. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's sort of meeting at this archetype, this man archetype that we've been given, and that, you know what I'm saying? And each of us is way more creative and individual than that, and bring more interesting things to the table and more interesting observations, you know what I'm saying? Than to join on this kind of like this masculine thing where, oh, if we're married, oh, we got a ball and chain. There's this performance, you know what I'm saying? And be yourself, know yourself. Where I am now, I've learned that I had to shed these performances. I had to shed my awareness of the gaze, Gaze, shed my awareness of people's judgment and perception. These things that had shaped me, had shaped my ego and shaped my behavior. I got into rooms, and in this room I was very funny. In this room I brought, let's call them, intellectual seriousness. In this room I'd be more creative and like, you know what I'm saying, in this room. And so why? Because it made more sense. It was more comfortable. It developed, and then to go, oh shit, so who am I? What does it mean? Can I love that? You know what I'm saying? Can I love that without the performance? Well, that means that you're going to show up differently in those rooms now. You're saying you're going to form, or you're going to congeal a different kind of version of the self that is more fully encompassing. And that means that in each of those rooms now, they're going to have to deal with that, which is different from what they dealt with before. So what happens is there's a process of, there's a shift, and there's a shifting that happens internally. There's a shifting that happens externally as people deal and experience this other version. You know what I'm saying? And they have a new experience with you, and it is. And one of the challenges is then you try to give language to what's happening. You try to give language to who you are. You want to categorize yourself. We've been taught to categorize ourselves. And sometimes the thing that you are is not categorizable. Sometimes the things that you are is not, you know what I'm saying? You can't give, there isn't language enough yet to it. It is a combination of things, right? Aren't these words concepts? And all these things that you think are opposite, or one is, you know what I'm saying, completely separate from the other thing, that they meld and they merge, and there's a whole other thing, and it is what it is. And if what can happen is that without the words, though, it creates an anxiety in the head, in your experience, especially if you are attached and you're assuming that everyone is looking for you to play the category. And you're like, oh, but you know that you're this other thing. No, you are the thing. You are the thing. Relax. Be it. Love it. Know it. Get to know it. How do you get to know it? We'll get into that probably tomorrow, because I've definitely gone over the time. Oh my God. Thanks, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. How Billy sees it. How do I close this thing? Do I just hit X? All right. I think I just hit X, yo. See ya. There we go.